To troubleshoot AWS Amplify GraphQL API, start by understanding the basics of GraphQL and AWS Amplify. GraphQL is a query language for APIs that allows for more flexible and efficient data retrieval. Aws Amplify is a development platform that helps you build scalable mobile and web applications. First, identify the issue you are experiencing with your GraphQL API. Common issues include authentication errors, data not being returned, or mutations not being applied. Check the AWS Amplify documentation and GraphQL schema to ensure you are using the correct queries and mutations. Next, check the AWS Amplify API logs to see if there are any error messages that can help you identify the issue. You can do this by going to the AWS Amplify console and navigating to the API section. Look for any error messages or warnings that may indicate what is going wrong. If you are experiencing authentication errors, check your authentication settings to ensure that you are using the correct credentials and that your users have the necessary permissions to access the API. Make sure you are using the correct authentication type such as API key, Aws IAM, or Amazon Cognito. To troubleshoot data issues, check your GraphQL schema to ensure that it is correctly defined and that the fields you are trying to retrieve are included in the schema. Also check your resolvers to ensure that they are correctly implemented and that they are returning the expected data. To troubleshoot mutation issues, check your GraphQL schema to ensure that the mutation is correctly defined and that the fields you are trying to update are included in the schema. Also check your resolvers to ensure that they are correctly implemented and that they are applying the expected changes. Best practices for troubleshooting AWS Amplify GraphQL API include testing your API using a tool like GraphQL Playground or AWS Amplify CLI. This can help you identify issues and test your API in a controlled environment. Also make sure to monitor your API logs and metrics to detect any issues or performance problems. By following these steps and best practices, you can effectively troubleshoot your AWS Amplify GraphQL API and ensure that it is working correctly and efficiently. Remember to always check the AWS Amplify documentation and GraphQL schema to ensure you are using the correct queries and mutations, and to test your API regularly to detect any issues.